Xbox has always had a little bit of bad timing, in my opinion. It seems like when they do something, it's maybe a little bit too early. A good example of this would be with the original Xbox. They decided to go with no 56K modem, which was dial-up internet. And you might go, dial-up internet? Why would anybody do that? They were called every name under the book for doing that, and including instead a broadband adapter right in the box itself. Right, so a lot of people really didn't understand that. Also, the inclusion of a hard drive. I can remember I didn't understand this, so when I bought my original Xbox, I bought a memory card, and because they did sell the memory cards, but the memory cards were actually just, you could take your entire profile with you, go over to a friend's house or whatever, and take your save files with you on the go, but you didn't need one to save games. It was so revolutionary, and then the same thing, they revolutionized things with achievements and, party chats and updates and being able to do Netflix. I mean, people don't give them their flowers for that, but that was their idea. They went to Netflix and were like, hey, you ever thought about streaming your stuff through a console? And that's basically how that whole thing started. So, with that being said, it seems like they were maybe a little bit ahead of the curve with this. That new Fallout show seems to be going over really well with everybody. People are saying it's an incredible adaptation. I think we've moved past that part where most game-related shows and movies are terrible. Like, I'm not a Fallout fan, so I didn't watch it, but, to me, it seems like the companies that are doing these games and allowing these shows to be made are really kind of dropping the ball on one big aspect, and that is having a game to coincide with the show. So if you look at it, like The Witcher show, for instance, when that came out, it was a big hit, and we saw Witcher 3 sales skyrocket, but if they had, that would have been the perfect thing to launch a new Witcher game with. I understand that takes years or whatever, but they got to do a better job of coinciding with that. So you launch, it's like The Last of Us, right? And I didn't watch that either because, but anyway, you have a show that's going to drive engagement and make people curious about the game, and then you have no game there or just an old game there, right? I don't think that hits as hard, but at least Microsoft is doing this. Fallout 4, which came out many moons ago, a decade ago, believe it or not, is getting an update to 60 frames and some more other things, which I think is cool. Maybe that'll draw some engagement back to that on the consoles and things like that. The new next-gen upgrade hits the Xbox later this month, bringing with it 60 FPS, increased resolution, stability improvements, and more. Hot on the heels of Amazon's Fallout TV series, which premiered yesterday with the other day actually, with all 8 episodes available for viewing. The next-gen update arrives on April 25th. With this update, PS5 and Xbox Series X and S players will get a new native Fallout 4 application, assuming they already own previous-gen versions of the RPG. Performance and quality mode settings in the game, stability improvements and fixes, 60 FPS gameplay with increased resolutions on next-gen consoles. They're going to receive the free update, and there's going to be improvements and login and quest fixes as well. So it looks like they're going all out with this, but I mean, here we are a decade after this game actually released. I mean, shouldn't maybe a Fallout 3 remake or a Fallout New Vegas remake, like something to really kind of entice people? I think they're kind of dropping the ball a little bit here anyway, just my humble opinion. It looks like there's a lot of interesting things coming out there as well. With kind of what's going on here, and again, like I think this is really cool that they're able to kind of do this. If you're a PlayStation 5 owner that owns Fallout, then you are going to be kind of, I guess, lucked out because you get in the update as well. I mean, we have to remember that Microsoft is pretty much a full-on third-party company at this particular point anyway, so it's one of those things where, hey, they do have some cool stuff coming, and it's just one of those things where this is kind of a cool thing to see. Hey, we've got this big update. I've stated this multiple times, but I do feel like we kind of have this weird situation where they could have had something there. Like, I don't know, like, think about when we're going to actually get a new Fallout game. And like I said, I'm not the biggest Fallout fan, right? But at the same time, I feel like, it would really really be interesting if they would have been able to have something to coincide with this. So, like I said, so Fallout came out Fallout 4 came out in 2014. Or was it 2015? Might have been 2015. And then they spent all these last years making Starfield cool, and now they're making the next Elder Scrolls game, and that might come out in 2027, 2028, who the hell knows. And then they start on Fallout, so you're looking at 2030 something by the time Fallout comes out, right? Like, I don't know, man, it just seems like bad timing or whatever. If you've got other studios, let them help make a Fallout, open another Bethesda, and so that they can make these games a little bit quicker, or something along those lines. I just feel like it is a bit of a situation where they're not exactly getting the payoff that they really thought they would, and I think that's kind of unfortunate, to say the least. Still, again, cool that they're doing it. I'm glad that it looks like the shows and movies and stuff are finally getting to that point where they're quality, right? Because it's such a shame when they're not. And I know, like, for a fact that most movies and things up until recently and shows were just absolutely horrible when it comes to like adaptations of video game stuff. And I think the reason is because you have a situation where they're not really sticking to the source material, which I think is always kind of a mistake. You got to have fans of that stuff in the mix. You absolutely need it. Like, to me, I tried watching the Halo series, and I guess people say the second season was much better, but I tried watching it, and it's just, you can't get next to it. I know people go, oh well, he had to take his helmet off, blah blah blah. I'm like, if you're a fan of the games, you don't want to see that stuff. It's like, you just get somebody to act, a stunt person in there, and then use the guy who voices Master Chief. Like, that would have made the most sense, especially since you got the actress who does Cortana. So it would have only made sense to kind of stick to more towards the game, and people are kind of fickle like that. They don't want to see too much deviation from how the games actually are. But it's a nice win for Microsoft, I think, and we're seeing some decent shows. I'll be honest with you, I like the Twisted Metal show a ton. I thought that was awesome. I probably might be one of the only people talking about that, but that was a fantastic thing, and they had no new game for that either, so it's like, we sort of live in this weird time right now. But I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and takes on this. Have you watched the Fallout show? Is it worthy? Is it worthwhile? Do you wish that Microsoft would have came out, or Bethesda would have had a game ready to go, or a remake or something? But it is cool to get the update for free, I think. I think that's always awesome when you do it that way instead of charging people. Let me know what you guys think. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.